I've said this several times, but this is the darkest before the dawn. Oh my gosh, I just dropped some. Okay, who cares? Okay, got a little red there, but that's okay. Get ready to put more. All right, now, this is a yellow sunflower. It's not a red sunflower, but cadmium red light, but it does have orange in the darkness. Cadmium red light is really a dark orange. That's cadmium orange, that's cadmium red light, which is a darker orange. All right, now this brush I've talked about, this one I'm kind of mad because I mad at myself, not at the brush, but myself, because I've abused it and it doesn't have a good, it has a disease. But anyway, this is a Micro Mini 20-aught made by Creative Mark. And it's a dance along, skitter along. And I'm going to show you what I've done is I put quite a bit of water in both my orange and, because now what I'm doing is I'm making a kind of an ink. And I'm going to draw back into that. Do you see that? See that? How I'm going to draw? But it needs to be pretty wet, but it still needs to have some paint in it. Okay, if you hit a water spot, it's gonna do just like it would otherwise. But anyway, this is nice and, no, it's not. This is a dry, wet place right there. Let me dry again. Gotta dry. In fact, I see some blooms, and I'm gonna, that's that blossomy thing that happens if you weren't perfectly dry, which I must not have been before. It will backtrack kind of. Okay, let's go. My paper towel to help dry, and I kind of watch some of that backtrack, that blossom out of there. Okay, now, can you hear me? Probably not. Let's see. I'm going to be working up in the orange part first, so hopefully this other will be dry. Not a bad stop and dry. But here we go. What I'm going to do, and now, if I can find the brush again at this, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from forward to back. Let me say what's eating Gilbert grape. The background is heavier than the foreground. Your background, or middle ground, whatever, is supposed to stay behind emotionally. I let that happen on purpose because I knew I was going to come draw into it, and I'm going to. But normally you don't want your background, you want your foreground to be the most important. Okay, let me see if I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, right here, I'm right here. Now I'm just doing gesture drawing. Now, when I've said this before, what I've been working on is trying to get my pixie back. When I bring out this brush, it's my pixie. It's where my pixie talks. Do you see how that's, can you tell from there how that's perking up? I'm gesture drawing with my brush. That's what I'm doing. I'm gesture drawing with my brush. Okay, that was an accident. It dropped a big blob in the wrong place. Well, maybe, but then maybe it won't be. In case I want that out of there, I just take my. Now remember, red and green I make brown, so there's going to be a little rusty spot there. But nature, go out and find me a leaf that doesn't have a little brown in it. Nature has so I'm not going to really sweat that too awfully much. I may come back and fix it later, but right now it's not bothering me. Okay. And also, let me tell you something. You have the subject matter here because you look at it. Don't just try to draw it from your heart. This is not an abstract painting. It's gonna have elements of abstraction, but it's not an abstract painting. So this is what cadmium red light is going to do as far as bringing this thing back together again. Now let me show you what I'm going to do with the Prussian blue. Making another inky, moist. Can you see that? It's just real watery. So that's about the consistency of a drawing ink. Now then, let me see what we got. We got this. What I'm going to do right there, I'm going to take a brush, an angle shader, talon brush, and I'm going to, I want this to be darker, this whole area. So I'm going to take some of that ink and lay it in. And this shows you why I use the angle brush, is because I can lay it in with precision. I don't bring these things out at first. I don't want much precise about what I'm doing at first. All right, this is beginning to pull it back out. Now let me see what I can do. Still needs a little bit more definition up in this area. So now I'm gonna just think of this as a black ink. If you were doing a Sharpie drawing or an ink drawing, a little dab will do you. Constantly move your eye around, seeking for balance, seeking for definition, some. Now I'm getting ready to do something that's really going to blow you. First of all, let me do this. This teeth are going like that. Teeth. I'm going to do something that's really going to blow your mind. I always tell my students, the rules are rules, but they're made to be broken, at least in the art room, not everywhere. Don't try that in the library, but in the art room, rules are made to be broken. Okay, let me show you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do this with fear and trepidation because it may not work. I just have been sitting here all morning telling you how you should not mix green and red. Well, sometimes I do, and I just let it go. And I like what I see. Well, I'm probably going to quit. I'm about to quit. A lot of times, I may think I'm done, but I may come back in a little bit and do something else. But I think I'm probably done. Contrasts, darks and lights. Into each life some rain must fall. Okay, there I have it. I think I'm done. I think I'm about ready to sign it. But it's a drawing as much as it is a painting. In fact, I call these things watercolor sketches because that's what it is. It's a gesture drawing in paint. I'm not going to pick it up and show it to you right now because it's just as wet as it could be. I need to let it air dry. But I'm going to do that in just a minute, show it to you. Okay, just a minute. Okay, folks, here it is. My painting for today. Today I'm beginning to feel my pixie coming back. This name of this painting is Sunflower in a Bottle. And that's what it is. It's still wet, and you see some wet spots. But this is the third day of a painting a day challenge, and I've probably made some mistakes here. They're not just overwhelming mistakes. This is a sunflower with a yellow center and not a brown center, and that's why it looks a little different. But let me say this again and again. This isn't really a painting. This is a drawing. It's a gesture drawing with watercolor. Michelangelo said, painting is just colored drawing. And in my case, it really is.